When Tim speaks, it hits hard, sometimes too hard. This time, fans are torn apart. Some say he's just being real, while others think he crossed a line. So, is Tim telling the truth people need to hear, or is he just being plain harsh? Let's dig into what really happened. In one of the most talked about moments from the latest Heartland episode, Tim said something that's left the audience shocked, confused, and even angry. The scene started off like many others, with family tension simmering just below the surface. But as emotions rose, so did Tim's words, and what came out of his mouth wasn't easy to hear. Tim was speaking to a close family member. Some say it was out of concern. Others say it was an attack. He looked straight at them and said, "You're not thinking straight. You've messed up, and you need to own it before things get worse." That line, simple as it may seem, has become the center of a major debate. People are asking, was Tim trying to help, or was he just blaming someone who was already down? The words came out fast and firm. No sugarcoating, no soft edges. And that's the problem for some viewers. To them, Tim didn't leave space for kindness. He didn't ask questions or listen first. He made a bold claim and expected everyone to agree. But others see it differently. They believe Tim said exactly what needed to be said. After all, the person he was talking to had made a risky decision that could have hurt the entire family. Tim didn't want to wait until things got worse. He stepped in early, just maybe a little too hard. Now let's take a step back. Tim Fleming has never been known for holding back. Since the early seasons of Heartland, Tim has always had a strong opinion and a louder voice. He's a character who believes in facing problems head-on, even if that means upsetting the people around him. So, in that sense, what he said isn't new. It's not out of character. But this time, something feels different. Why? Maybe it's because of who he said it to. Maybe it's because of the tone he used. Or maybe, just maybe, the audience is starting to ask whether tough love is still love at all when it hurts more than it helps. The moment quickly spread online. Clips of the scene are all over social media. Some fans are defending Tim, saying things like, "Finally, someone said what everyone was thinking." Others are posting messages like, "That was too much, he could have handled it better." So now we're left with this big question. Was Tim being fair, or did he push it too far? To answer that, we need to look at how fans are reacting, because their voices are louder than ever. That's what we'll explore in the next section. As soon as the episode aired, the reaction from fans came fast and loud. Social media, fan forums, and even YouTube comment sections were buzzing with opinions. And just like the scene itself, the audience was deeply split. One side stood behind Tim. The other side, not so forgiving. Let's start with the people who supported him. For them, Tim's words were not rude. They were real. These fans believe that in a world full of sugar-coated talk and avoiding hard truths, someone like Tim is needed. They say he's the only one brave enough to call things out when no one else will. On Twitter, fans posted things like, "It's about time someone told them the truth," or "Tim may be rough, but he's right." Some pointed out that the character Tim was speaking to had made a big mistake, a mistake that could have put others in danger. In that case, they argue, Tim was actually protecting his family, even if it didn't sound nice. They say tough love is still love, and sometimes that's what a person needs to hear to change course. One fan wrote, "If someone in my family messed up like that, I'd want them to hear the truth before it's too late. Tim did the right thing, even if it hurt." Others praised the show for showing a realistic family conflict instead of wrapping everything up in smiles and hugs. To them, this was Heartland being raw, honest, and bold. But not everyone saw it that way. On the other side, many fans felt deeply uncomfortable. They weren't upset just because Tim said something bold. They were upset because of how he said it. Words matter, they argue. And Tim's words weren't just firm, they were cold and cutting, one viewer said. He didn't need to talk like that. He could have shown some care instead of jumping straight into blame. This group of fans feels that Tim didn't give the other person a chance to speak. He rushed to judgment and delivered it like a hammer. To them, that's not being honest. It's being harsh. They believe the moment could have been powerful and kind, but instead, it felt more like an attack than a warning. Some viewers were even reminded of their own real-life experiences. In the comments, people shared how being spoken to like that in tough times made things worse, not better. One person wrote, "I've been on the receiving end of words like that. It doesn't help. It just makes you feel small." Others questioned the show itself. They wondered whether Heartland went too far by allowing Tim's character to speak that way without more pushback. A few even said it sent the wrong message, that being loud and angry equals leadership. It's clear the scene has sparked something big. It's not just about what Tim said. It's about how we talk to each other in moments of conflict. Fans are asking questions like, when does honesty become harmful? Is it okay to speak the truth if you crush someone in the process? Some are calling for the next episode to show the aftermath. They want to see if Tim reflects, if the other person responds, or if this moment will be brushed aside. Others are hoping it becomes a turning point, not just for the character he spoke to, but for Tim himself. No matter which side you're on, one thing is clear. This moment has everyone talking. It's rare for a single line of dialogue to shake a fan base, but that's exactly what happened here. Next, we'll look deeper into Tim's character over the seasons. Has he always been this way, or is something changing? Is this just classic Tim, or did the writers take him somewhere new this time? To understand if Tim went too far, we need to ask an important question. Is this really out of character for him? Or is it just Tim being Tim as we've known him all along? For longtime fans of Heartland, Tim Fleming has always been a complicated man. He's never been the warm and fuzzy type. From the moment he stepped back into Amy and Lou's lives after years of being away, Tim's personality was clear. He's blunt, stubborn, and not afraid to say what's on his mind. But that's only part of the story. Over the years, we've seen both the good and the bad sides of Tim. He's had moments where he stepped up, supported his kids, and worked hard to be a better father. But there's also a long list of times when his actions caused pain, even when he didn't mean to. He tends to act first and think later, especially when emotions run high. In the earlier seasons, Tim often clashed with Jack, Lou, and even Amy. He has a strong sense of right and wrong, and when he believes someone is off track, he doesn't stay quiet. This is the Tim fans came to expect. Imperfect but passionate. Still, over time, he's shown growth. We've watched him become more self-aware, more careful with his words, and more interested in listening instead of just talking. So why does this latest moment feel different? Some fans think Tim took a step backward. They feel like all the progress he's made was thrown out the window in one emotional scene. It wasn't just what he said, it was how quickly he lost control. His voice was sharp, his body language was closed off. There was no warmth, no space for understanding, just a wall of blame. This has raised a deeper question. Is Tim stuck in his old ways, or is the pressure just getting to him? Let's remember, Tim's life hasn't been simple lately. He's had to deal with health scares, shifting family dynamics, and growing tension with those closest to him. That stress may be adding weight to his already heavy personality. Sometimes, people snap not because they want to hurt others, but because they feel overwhelmed themselves. Could that be what's happening with Tim? It's possible. But it still doesn't erase the impact of his words. Just because we understand someone doesn't mean their actions are okay. That's part of what makes this debate so tricky. On the other hand, many viewers argue that this moment was exactly who Tim has always been. Not everyone grows in a straight line. People slip up. People fall back into old habits, especially under pressure. To them, this scene was more proof that Heartland writes real people with real flaws, not perfect characters who always say the right thing. Some fans even say this is why they've stuck with the show so long, because it doesn't try to hide hard truths. Tim isn't meant to be a hero. He's meant to be human. And like all of us, sometimes he gets it right and sometimes he doesn't. But that still leaves us wondering, does being true to character excuse someone from responsibility? Should we just accept hurtful behavior because that's just who they are? Or should we expect more, especially from someone who's been given so many chances to grow? This moment with Tim isn't just about one sentence. It's about years of watching him struggle to balance truth with kindness, action with understanding, and pride with humility. And maybe now, more than ever, we're seeing those struggles come to a head. In the next and final section, we'll explore the big moral question at the center of this debate. When is being honest helpful, and when does it become harmful? After everything we've seen, the big question still remains. Was Tim being honest in a helpful way, or did he use honesty as a weapon? Let's be clear, honesty can be a powerful thing. It can open doors, heal wounds, and push people to grow. But when it's delivered without care or timing, it can also do the opposite. It can break trust, create distance, and leave lasting damage. That's the fine line Tim walked in this scene, and maybe, just maybe, he fell off it. Supporters argue that being direct is sometimes the only way to get through to someone, especially when emotions are high and stakes are real. In their view, Tim wasn't trying to be cruel. He was trying to protect someone he cares about. They say that sometimes love looks like warning someone before it's too late, even if the warning comes out sounding rough. But critics point out something just as important. People don't just remember what you say. They remember how you made them feel. And in that moment, Tim's words didn't feel like love to everyone. They felt like a slap, a line crossed, a moment that could push someone away instead of pulling them closer. So what does this tell us? Not just about Tim, but about how we speak to the people in our own lives? Maybe it reminds us that being right isn't always the same as doing right. That tone, timing, and empathy matter, and that even the truth, if delivered harshly, can close hearts instead of opening them. It also raises questions about accountability. If someone has a history of being blunt or loud, do we give them a pass when they hurt someone with their words? Or do we challenge them to grow, even if it's uncomfortable? And maybe most of all, it brings us back to the core of Heartland itself. This show has always been about family, forgiveness, and second chances. It's shown us that no one is perfect, and that everyone, even someone like Tim, has room to change. So now, we turn the question over to you. Was Tim simply being honest in a tough moment? Or did he push it too far and forget the heart behind the truth? Should the people around him accept his words as love, or ask more from him as a father, partner, and friend? Let us know what you think in the comments below. This moment has definitely made us think, and no matter where you stand, one thing is certain. It's not just a line in a script. It's a reminder that how we speak to each other matters.